Hey, everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with the Thursday edition of Today in Sports Betting. Scott, first of all, we're going to take a look at the college game. Should have been college games, but COVID has once again reared its ugly head and canceled one of the Thursday night games. And one of our favorite fades, Scott, it's a shame, took Utah State out of play.
Did I want to be laying 20 with Wyoming? I don't know. The answer is probably, but I don't know.
Yeah, not usually, but when they're playing the Little Sisters of the Mormon Poor, then that's certainly something we would take a look at. But you know what? That's the way it goes. It's the way things are going in the country right now. I guess we're actually fortunate to have the games that we do have. So
yeah, you know how sad I am. I can't see Levy Williams try to throw a ball from the pocket for an entire 4 quarters. It's a damn shame. I had so much fun watching him try to throw the ball against Colorado State a couple weekends ago.
Is it Levy or Levi?
Either way, it's not good. It's not good from the pocket. I'll tell you that much.
Not going to be here long.
He can run, but no, he's not too good at throwing the ball.
He can't hide.
No.
Well, the game we do have tonight should be pretty entertaining, Scott. It's the Battle of the T's. It's Tulane and Tulsa up there in Tulsa, Oklahoma. 5.5 is the number here.
But forget about just the Battle of the T's here. We got a ranked opponent in this one.
Yeah.
As Tulsa was able to crack the top 25 last week.
First time since 2010, I think I saw.
Could be. I know that they had a couple of really good years there. Not for a while. It had to have been for at least 5 years and change. I don't know if it's been that long, but it's been a long time.
Well, I can tell you, as you get older, it's usually however many years you think it is, and then about double that. So
okay, I'll remember that. Now, is there a certain threshold you have to cross before that starts applying, or no?
About 30.
About 30? Okay, I got some time ahead of me.
Yeah, you're all right. You're fine. So this is a good battle. This is a Tulane team that's been playing well lately, and but they haven't been really playing anybody. So I don't really know what to make of this one, Scott. What do you think? Is the green wave? Is it a mirage? Is it a thing? Is the green wave really for real, or is Tulsa going to be able to take care of business here tonight?
For me, I think that this matchup is kind of similar to what we talked about yesterday with Central Michigan. And we talked about how their defense statistically was very good. They looked like they turned a corner. They was going to do this. Then you look at the schedule and say, wait a second, you beat Ohio and you beat Northern Illinois. And then you face an actual offense that gave up 52 points, which is what happened yesterday if you weren't paying attention. But the point is Tulane has been inconsistent all year long. They blew that massive 24-point halftime lead to Navy. They ended up starting the season 2-4. Things look pretty bleak. And then wait a second, we played Temple, East Carolina, and Army back-to-back-to-back weeks. Yeah, they're going to tend to win those games because Temple is awful. East Carolina is never good, and they're not any good this year. And Army started the year off okay, but they've had some serious COVID issues, which has kind of derailed the direction of the program this season. So I don't think Tulane has played anybody. And now they have to face a ranked opponent coming in off a very impressive come-from-behind win against SMU, which I feel like was one of the more underrated outcomes that happened over the weekend. I know that there are other games that people want to talk about, et cetera. That was a hell of a comeback by Tulsa because they were getting killed early in that game. And they were able to circle the wagons and come back and win. Zach Smith, pretty good quarterback. I know Montgomery, as the head coach, is doing a pretty good job over there at Tulsa. I'm going to take Tulsa because I think that they have the offensive balance and the defense to keep Tulsa in check. It is impressive that you end up scoring 38 points exactly in 3 straight weeks. When you're playing defenses like Temple, East Carolina, and Army, congrats. But when you're playing Tulsa, that's a different animal entirely. So for me, I'm going to lean to Tulsa.
Tulane, you mean? When Tulane's playing Tulsa?
Yeah, Tulane's playing Tulsa. I'm saying that Tulane, when facing off against East Carolina, Army, and Temple's defenses, you're kind of supposed to put up 38 points. But Tulsa is definitely a step up in class when it comes to comparing defenses. So I'm going to lean to Tulsa.
Yeah, I agree. This is a team that ran for 700 yards total in those 3 games, and that's most likely not going to happen against this Tulsa defense. It's a very good Tulsa defense, especially against the run. And the difference is, for me, You've got two defenses. You got the number 1 and the number 2 defenses against the run in the American, but the difference is on one side you've got a quarterback in Zach Smith, who's I'd say slightly above average, probably a 6 or 6.5 on a scale of 10.
Yeah, I think he's fine.
On the other side, you've got a freshman who has put up some pretty good numbers against some pretty bad teams, but I think he is going to struggle against this defense when they turn that Tulane team one-dimensional. So,
well, the issue with Pratt is the fact that he's done a pretty good job since taking over, but the point is that against good teams he tends to struggle, and it's mostly because of the fact that he just is not that accurate with the football. He's a good quarterback in the sense for college where he's good at running the ball, a lot of mobility. He can definitely help out with Tulane's ground game. But when it comes to actual passing, there's a reason why Tulane's averaging only 180.2 passing yards per game. Pratt is not exactly a guy who's going to stretch defenses out by himself. He likes to keep it on the ground. He'll use some play action game stuff, in the pass game to try to find open guys. But if you're comparing Smith to Pratt, even though the numbers might suggest Pratt's the better quarterback, 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions to 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, Smith is the better quarterback overall. Do I think Smith is very good? No, I think he's fine. But Pratt does have some issues when it comes to his accuracy downfield, which I think is concerning when you're going to be facing a Tulsa team that can not only cover well, but can also get after the quarterback.
Yeah, agreed. I think this is going to be I think we're going to have a game that features a lot of running. I know they're both going to try to establish the run. They're both hard-headed about it. Tulane really doesn't have much of a choice. So I see the under as the play here, Scott. Plus, they're going to have high winds down there on the Oklahoma Prairie. It's going to be in the 60s with winds up in the 20 to 30 range at times. That always makes for a fun experience. So I'm going to go ahead and play the under 55 in this one, and I'd grab that because it looks like the bottom's falling out of that number.
Well, it is also worth mentioning that the weather could actually do a little bit of a favor to Tulane. And the reason why I mention that is because of the fact that Tulane's pass defense is absolutely atrocious. Tulane's giving up 275 passing yards per game. Their secondary is atrocious. If you watch their opener when they took on Houston, you'd know exactly what I'm talking about because They got absolutely torched, and it has not gotten much better. And once again, when you're facing off against East Carolina, Temple, and Army, especially Army, your secondary is not exactly going to get exploited. Right. When you give up 51 to UCF, and I know UCF plays at a fast pace, a lot of talent, Gabriel, etc. Gabriel did go for 422 and 5 touchdowns. So the secondary isn't very good. But the question is the weather going to be bad enough to, I guess, neutralize how bad their secondary actually is?
No, I don't think it is. I don't know that it's going to probably inhibit the deep shots. But I think, everything with a tight spiral in the 10 to 20 yard range should be okay.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to wind up and take that many deep throws against the wind. So yeah, it wouldn't be ideal, but again, both teams are going to have to fight the wind, and I like the team that has the better skilled quarterback to start with.
Yeah, I have to agree there.
All right, so. That's it, man. That's I was really looking forward to going through a couple games here, but yeah, okay, I'll stop bitching. I'll stop whining. You know what? We got games every night this week. We did well yesterday, so yeah. All right. You got anything else?
Not really. I know for the total, I think that this one is pretty tough. The wind's definitely going to be playing a factor as to why this total has dropped a little bit since the opening line. Open up at roughly 55.5 down to 55, even 54.5. You might get some late buying on the over just because people might just be blindly betting overs in college football. But I think the weather should definitely play a factor. I'm actually going to lean a little bit to the over here.
Okay.
It's mostly just because of the fact that I really think this Tulane defense is not very good. And I know that they will have looked good the last couple of weeks. Once again, huge step up in competition. Plus, Tulane on the road this season, not great. Not great. So if you want to actually break down how they've done defensively, they can't stop the pass. Against the run, they're good. But once again, are they good against the run, or are they just so bad against the pass that teams just don't even bother running the ball against them?
Yeah, that's something you always have to look at. We've got a team that we're gonna talk about that coming up here on the NFL. But you always have to look at when you see, oh, well, they're really good against the run, and you have to go a little deeper and find out why that is. I totally agree, Scott. That's a great tip, because
Well,
sometimes.
but yeah, for the record, I misspoke before. I said Tulane in the opener when they played Houston. It was Houston's opener.
Houston's opener.
I misspoke, but Houston walked into having 49 points. That was what I meant. I misspoke there. But
Okay.
yeah, so Tulane's defense, yeah, they might be good against the run, quote unquote, but if you can't stop the pass, then it doesn't really change anything.
Yeah,
So,
Tulane actually had a nice opener against South Alabama, and
Yep.
then looked like they were going to be a real team against Navy, and then halftime happened, and then their season pretty
Yeah.
much went south. So
the point is, I watched them play against Houston the first time they faced a real pass offense, and they were so beyond lost from a secondary perspective, and it did not get much better as the season went on.
yeah, in fact we had them as a premium play in that game. I liked Tulane there. I thought they showed a little something. I thought they'd be kind of hungry after Navy. They'd beat Old Miss in between, or Southern Miss rather, and just kind of beat the hell out of them. So I thought maybe that second half against Navy was an aberration, and that did not end up being the case. Houston just ran all over them and looked like a real team. And of course, as we found out later, they're not.
No,
So,
I actually have one question that I want to bring up quickly. I know that since we're at this stage in the season where a decent amount of conferences only have maybe 2 or 3 games left on their actual schedule,
right.
with on the road against Houston being up next week, do you think that's a big enough matchup for a potential look-ahead spot for Tulsa? Or is Houston just so below average this season that it doesn't even matter?
I think Houston is below average, and I don't think it matters.
I can't really argue there. I know the finale is against Cincinnati. So if you want to talk about look-ahead spots, that Houston game could be a look-ahead spot. But
Yep. Yeah,
I think that for the sake of this matchup, I don't think Houston's very good.
No, I think
injuries and stuff like that. So I don't think Tulsa's going to look past Tulane and say, oh, we got to worry about traveling to Houston. I just don't see that mattering. So I don't think that – I agree with you. I don't think that is going to play a factor in this game. But I do think that when you start handicapping these type of games, it's definitely worth at least monitoring who they're going to be playing the following week. And I don't think enough people actually do that.
Yeah. You have to take a look ahead spots, sandwich spots, etc. I think the only other 2 teams that would be look ahead spots for this team would be SMU and UCF, and they've already played those 2 teams. So,
Cincinnati would be the finale. But
that's what I'm saying. So, other than Cincinnati, now,
yeah, and they beat SMU last week. So
it's something you might want to take a look at next week, as they line up, and then have to, with an eye towards Cincinnati, especially if they win convincingly here tonight, move up in the polls. That's going to be a huge game. So.
Yeah, we're in agreement there, but I do not think that Tulsa's going to go into this matchup thinking, oh, we're already looking ahead to Houston. I don't see that being the case. So
no, I think they're going to take care of business here tonight.
I think this game will be close, but I think Tulsa will eventually win by about 10 points.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, it may take a minute. It may be something where they've just got to grind them down and take the wind out of the sails of that defense by being on the field too long. So. All right, bud. There you go. That's 1 down, 1 to go. We'll be back on the next one to talk about the NFL. Appreciate everybody stopping by. Of course, give us a thumbs up for the video. Subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. You know the drill. And, of course, we wish everybody good luck today. Hope every one of those tickets in your pocket turns into cash money back at the window. If you want more details, check out winnersandwhiners.com, #1 site for predictive sports analysis anywhere on the web. And for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Whiners, appreciate you guys stopping by. Have a great day. And you know what? We'll just see you on the next video. Take care.